Survive an epidemic. Know your enemy. Hollywood often manufactures new, previously unknown viruses when depicting epidemics, but in the real world there are already numerous viruses that could wreak havoc on society. Smallpox. There hasn't been a natural case since 1980, and all known stockpiles of the virus have been destroyed. There's still a risk, however, that terrorist groups could bring the virus back from extinction and unleash it on society. Influenza. The 1918 Spanish flu outbreak wiped out around 5% of the world's population. If a deadlier strain was to arise, the results could be even more devastating. Ebola. The virus kills nearly half of all those who contract it. Outbreaks are becoming more common, and a relatively long incubation period makes them difficult to contain. Rabies. Although it is difficult to contract, the virus has a 100% mortality rate after the outset of symptoms. Marburg virus. The symptoms and mortality rate are similar to that of Ebola, but the virus has one unsettling difference: there's no known treatment. Prepare for the worst. Think of the last time you tried to navigate a grocery store just before a major snowstorm. Now imagine that hellscape and multiply it by 100. This is what you're up against if you try to gather supplies after the epidemic starts. Your chances of surviving an epidemic are much higher if your home is well stocked with provisions long before news of the outbreak hits the airwaves. At minimum, you should have enough dehydrated meals to last 1 month. 30 gallons of water per person. A first aid kit. Solar panels and batteries. Flashlights. A gas-powered generator. Candles. Matches. Cash. Face masks. Surgical gloves. Water filters. If your local pharmacy is already picked clean, you might want to try your local vet's office. The pain medications and antibiotics prescribed to cats and dogs are often the same as those prescribed to humans, just in smaller doses. Hole up at home. You may not know much about the virus you're dealing with in the early phases of an outbreak. Until additional information becomes available, you must presume that the virus is very infectious, may be airborne, and that anybody may become infected. Keep your doors and windows shut and secured at all times, and only go outdoors if absolutely necessary. It's not worth the risk to go to the food shop until your cabinets are entirely bare. Remember that you may go for several weeks without eating. Although it may seem severe, you should also avoid unwanted contact with your relatives. They might be infected already and transfer the virus onto you, or vice versa.